I served 6 months in the DuPage County Jail in Wheaton, Illinois. The hardest thing for me for reentry, as an individual, as a mom, as a human being, has really been housing. The insecurity that comes with lack of stable housing for myself, for my daughters. I have a 18-year-old who's basically still 14 and needs me for everything, and then I have a 7-year-old who's every bit of 7. Having them on my back 24/7 and knowing that I need to have stable housing for them. I need them to live in a secure area. I need them to live in an area where they can go to school safely, where they can feel okay, where they can feel comfortable. And that's not the easiest thing to do when you are a convicted felon. Having these felonies on my background has completely changed my life when it comes to housing. It's now not just the battle of having good credit. And with good credit, you have to have income to pay your debt and to pay your bills. And when you're a convicted felon, finding employment is just as hard as finding housing.
I was referred first after a year of trying to find housing or some kind of resource to help me in any kind of way, with Precious Blood Ministries. And it came from a good friend named Najee. She got me with Precious Blood Ministry, who housed me for a year. And after that, I've been on my own.
Housing is still there. Most people are living on somebody's couch or living with a relative. And the problem with that is if that relative decides for some reason not to have you there anymore, you got to go. And now you went from having a stable roof over your head to no roof over your head. You're unhoused. And then that adds on to that angst.
Housing situation, I needed someone to be patient with me, and she just wasn't willing to do that.
I had a mental health breakdown in my grandparents' garage because I felt overwhelmed. I tried to find different programs, but most were either filled or you had to live in a certain area to have their services. I tried to seek out mental health services, which I always needed. I had a lot of trauma in my childhood, but I tried to seek out mental health services as well as find a therapist that specialized in trauma. I wanted to be able to overcome childhood trauma, jail, and prison trauma as well, as I wanted to be the best father to my 10-year-old daughter who was living with me. But all the therapists within, I believe it was a 50-mile radius, did not take my insurance, which was Medicaid, or they were already at full capacity. I had to put this on hold until I find a job that had offered health insurance. Ultimately, I never got the help that I believe that I still need. Almost every job hired me on the spot and during the interview process, but once my background was ran, it was denied, and I appealed every time, but still denied.
I can just hope that one day these conversations that we're having and these real life things, real life situations and scenarios that are happening to everyday people like myself, that there's a change.